All right, I gotta correct figure out what I'm doing right now. So I was in the middle of trying to get the chat panel down here. It's a little buggy, so I'm trying to figure out how to basically get that to work. So I'm going to try to do more of like a spec-driven development approach to it to fully document how it's supposed to work, and then I'm going to kick that off to see how it's working. I might even use Composer too fast. So one approach I found, if you're running into issues with agentic coding, is you probably should have started with the MD file that really outlines all the edge cases of how it should work. Sometimes I'll just do a little bit of vibe coding to get an idea of a feature that I want added in, or I'll let the agent plan it out. Then once the plan's done, like you kind of figured out what you want, you can go back and you can either stash all your changes and try again. But I'm going to say I need to build out a chat panel, which I already have some logic in place. Okay, so here are the requirements I need. When a user presses tab, it should open the chat panel. Chat panel should show previous chat messages with latest at the bottom. The chat panel should have an input area which tracks what a user types. A user should be able to backspace on the chat panel to remove previously typed characters. When a user presses enter and has something typed into the input, send it. When a user presses tab, when the panel is already open, close it. And I'm going to go back and just kind of verify I'm not missing anything. We should show previous things. Oh, I do want to show the name of the user and how long ago that chat message was. So as an example, 5 seconds ago, 4 minutes ago, that type of thing. And I'll say you can probably find a third-party library to achieve this logic, like datefns or something. And I think that might be good enough. I mean, we can probably... Oh, there's like existing functionality where you have to press Y. Remove the existing functionality for pressing Y to have the chat input show up. Okay. Now, honestly, sometimes you can use Composer too fast for this. In a plan mode, it'll kind of do okay. Other times, you should probably just go to GPT, or sorry, GPT 5.4 or Opus. It really depends. I've been just trying to primarily use Composer 2 for my side projects because it just feels funner using versus like watching Claude Code run for 10 minutes and then you go and you check and it's still not working the way you thought it was. What's up, guys? Rad Twin, did you use AI for your tile sets animations? The tile set is something I found online for free. It's like a Creative Commons tile set. In the README of the project, you can find a link to it. But a lot of the actual stuff I've been adding in since then, for example, this auction house, this is AI generated. There's some items here that are AI generated. I need to come back and actually like make them look a little bit better. What is that? Quest is J. There's a weird quest bar. Yeah, let me just try to inspect my element here so I can actually show. Okay, what was I talking about? Yeah, the sprite. So like this is like a fist sprite. This is AI generated. What are some other things? I think if I went to the crafting menus, which I don't really have one, spawn workbench. All of these, not all of these, some of these, like this is AI generated, this one, this one, this one. So it's a bunch of placeholder art. It's not the best, right? But the idea is like just get something there that's good enough. You can come back and you can fix it later. You can hire an expert that actually knows how to make artwork, or I could spend time myself learning how to use Asprite and making my own sprites. if that's something that will bring me joy, I could actually start focusing on that type of stuff. Yeah. Let's see. Mediocre Tyler, what's up, Cody? Nothing much. Welcome to the stream. Why are we doing AI slop coding? Because it's the future, you know? Let's see. Let's kind of go through this plan real quick. Uses a private is chatting. Current gaps. Okay. Do I have any code changes right now? I do have some chat widget stuff. So what are the things I want to actually look for? I don't care about the date and stuff. Like we can fix that. Chat window single open state for typing and rendering. Input routing. Remove the Y branch and all the read and write. Is movement suppressed? Replace this chatting with this queries. Is chat panel? Do I suppress movement? Yeah, actually, let me think about this. How do I want to do chat? Before I had a chat message like directly in the center, but it was like blocking the view of the game. So you could have chats, but as it filled up, it's like it blocks everything. So I moved it over here. But then Y is not very intuitive that that's how you open up the chat. So I added this button to show it. But when it opens up, you still want players to be able to move around. But when they're chatting, you don't want WASD to kind of interfere with how they walk around. So I'm curious what the best user experience would be here. They open the chat with tab. And they still need to press another key to like start chatting. I could keep it Y, but then I could just show it in the input. And maybe I'll reprompt that. I'll say, I still want to keep Y as the way to start the input focus and the prevent movement logic. Let me do that. I guess I should try to play some games that actually has a chat panel. In my head, I'm thinking about like Counter-Strike Source or CSGO, where there's like, you know, you press Y the chat, but then the chat messages kind of go away and stuff. When the chat panel is open, make sure you actually display a message inside the input of press Y to start typing your message, so a user knows how to actually type. All right, I think this is good enough to at least try. I'm gonna go ahead and just run it. And we're gonna open up a new agent. Can you use the background image that's on the world select also on the game loading screen? The other one's still running, so I gotta wait for that to finish. I don't think there's anything else I can kind of be prompting at this point. But I kind of want to test this stuff out. This project open source? Yeah, I could send a link to it. It's fully open source. What's up, Steven Learns? How's it going? Bro, you play CS? I used to a lot. Used to play CS 1.6, Counter-Strike Source, CSGO. Don't really play as much. I don't think I have any installed. Haven't installed at this point. All right, let me run this again. All right, there. Got the background image. All right, so let's test out what we just added. So tab should open it. It's a little verbose there. And then also it's kind of disconnected. So I'm going to do a little screenshot. Just ask it to improve the width. Increase the width of the chat panel and make it the same width of the input box, and also remove the gap between the input box and the chat panel. Little edge case there as I type. There's a small edge case. When I type too many characters, they start going off of the input. I need you to horizontally scroll the input so I can see the very final characters of what I'm typing. Now you might ask, why am I doing this? Because the input in the panel, it's all HTML5 canvas, right? We're not using React or anything for this stuff. I want to have everything be in-game, rendered with the canvas, with maybe the hopes one day I can switch it from being a web game and actually like write it in some lower level language. Because I think if I'm too coupled to the DOM, I think it'd be very hard to refactor away. Well, I mean, AI could probably figure it out, right? But I think it'd be harder for AI to refactor away from DOM. Looks pretty good. The last thing I'd probably do is center it. It doesn't seem fully centered on the screen. So again, I could do like one more screenshot. I think there's one more thing. It doesn't seem like the panel and input is fully horizontally centered. Do the math to figure out the height of the actual canvas and the height of the combined panel and input so that you can properly divide that by half and center it horizontally on the screen. Vertically, I mean, vertically. A little issue like that, where I said horizontally, would have completely messed up the intent, and the AI would have like tried to probably center it in my screen horizontally. So it's very important to pay attention to the keywords and really think about what you're saying, because like the more specific you are, I found these models are very specific. So if you say horizontal, it's going to do horizontal, even though in your mind you were thinking vertically. But again, we're still talking to a machine, so it needs very specific language to get the job done. So we'll see if this will actually, I could be off, but I mean, it looks like this is 160, and that's over 300, so it's definitely not centered. What, ranked? I don't even know. I don't think I was doing ranked, honestly. I don't remember what rank I was. I know in 1.6 I tried joining like a Cal league and I was actually like trying to do tournaments and stuff, but you know, when you start playing against these people who are like professionals, they do this like 12 hours a day. It's kind of like, what's the point? Like, I'm not gonna, I guess just for fun. I also do a lot of, I used to do a lot of StarCraft 2 ranked fun. Are you using some rag so that the agent doesn't forget what it has done so far? Or is the context window massive? The context, I just let the context window grow in this particular case. I don't know if that looks centered either. About like 250. Still off a little bit. Okay, let me do from top to bottom, bottom to top. 250 by 6. Still seems like there's a little issue. The top is about 60 pixels less than the bottom. I want you to fix it, but make sure the math is all correct. Don't just randomly add margin or padding. I want you to actually calculate the height of the canvas and do the math for the panel and the input height to figure out the exact center that it needs to be. Now this is a this is a situation where I could make a new context window because all the other stuff that I fixed in this context window is completely irrelevant to what the bug is. The only benefit of keeping this context window is it already knows about the panel, it knows about the button, it knows about the input, it knows about the toggle. And so it's already there, it kind of knows about the code, but I do think it's kind of getting polluted. So you could probably try doing a new prompt here. But then I'd also say that when doing math, sometimes Composer 2 is not the best with math. I would probably even say GPT 5.4 could do a better job at this. Or even, dare I say, Gemini 3.1. I found it pretty good at UI stuff in math. But I do want to just try to figure this out. Also, you can plan mode it. I found that that seems to help somewhat. I don't know if maybe it gives it more reasoning. But let's just try it out. I'm going to try this one more time and just see how it does. And you'll see it's going to waste some tokens. Like it has to go and then refine the chat and the HUD components and how it's all laid out, which I guess it's not that big of a deal because if I kept on prompting with the other prompt, it would have been a huge context window too. So we'll see. This may also not solve it. Wait, stop. Hold on. Okay, also, yeah, I need to say, it started like talking about the mini map. So you make sure you're reading the output because I didn't even say I'm talking about the input box. There is a issue with the vertical positioning of my chat panel and its input box. I'm trying to vertically center it on the screen. Okay, so good thing I was kind of paying attention to that. It was going to start like to modify the mini map, which would not have been good. So I went ahead and stopped it and I redid my panel. So hopefully it can figure that out. And if it can't, sometimes you can go with pencil paper and figure it out. I mean, like, what's the height of the canvas? It's 1,000. What's the height of your input box? It's 200. What's the height of your chat panel? 300. So 1,000 minus 500 divided by 2 should honestly be what it is. Canvas height minus combined each divided by 2. Yeah, so I mean, it basically came to the same math. It's just that it's not... Is that the same? 250. 250. Yeah, that's dead center now. Cool. And then kind of read through here, I guess we have the chat widget. The thing I'm guessing, you know, honestly, I don't even care about this code. RPG HUD theme. What is that? RPG HUD theme. Oh, that's like my shared styles. Okay. Client, agents. If you keep your chats focused on one issue, I think you'll avoid most context issues. Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to be clearing my throat a little bit. Yeah, that's basically what I do if I'm trying to like work on these side projects. Is every time I want to modify an inventory or a mini map or the abilities page, it's a brand new chat. I just open up a new chat and then I start prompting it. There are times where if I'm adding something new, I do like keeping that context window because it already has all this information already in it, which I know it's just going to go and look up anyway. But I did kind of already mention that before, so if you're listening. Yeah, so if you do Command J, it opens up this weird quest menu, but I also have a Q quest menu. So I'm curious why we have two. J and Q both open up something. So I'm going to figure out who added that. I think someone actually added that in. I notice when I press J, I get a quest menu, but also when I press Q, I get a different quest menu. Who added this? Go check out the get blame and figure out who did this and why was it added for two different ways. I think this might have been added in before I had the whole like multiple inventory system. J came with J came with the original quest journal feature. Q was added as the inventory tab hotkey for quest menu. Yeah, so I think I was working on some other arbitrary thing with quests, and then I decided to consolidate it all into one panel. So I'm actually going to... Okay, can you just remove the J hotkey and also the panel that it loads up? I'll make sure I can't open that up again. Okay, that's gone, and the normal quest menu still looks fine. Cool. I do notice that this thing, you know, I haven't even tested on different like devices. I noticed that there's like a bunch of overlap here. So what I might need to do is move some of this stuff. Yeah, I'm just going to move all this stuff up. I guess I could commit and push that real quick, but as that's going, let's go back. I'll make a screenshot. I notice when I scale the width of my browser that the health is overlapping with the 3 different buttons on the left side, the bottom left side of the screen. Can you instead move the mute button to the right of the exit button at the top, and then also move the players online to the right of that, and move it to the top of the screen, and then also move the open chat, and that actually needs to be directly under the exit button at the top of the screen. Now, I would be curious, for those watching, what are your thoughts on plan mode when using like Composer 2? Like I use plan mode all the time with Opus and stuff for larger features, but for something like this, do you find using plan mode actually helps it be more successful? I guess at the very least, you can like review the plan and make sure that it seems like it's going to be put in the right way. But what I've realized is that if it messes it up, you can just reprompt it in like 2 seconds and it'll fix it, right? So I'm still trying to figure out, because I mean, if you watch it, it's going to start diving through my code base It's going to try to find the HUD menus and try to understand how they're all like layout and stuff. So I don't know if it's kind of still doing like the exploring stages anyway. So I don't know what the plan actually gives us at the end of the day for something like this, like a little minor change. But I guess I'm curious if you guys are watching. Both blames lead back to me. Is this cursor? Yeah, I'm using cursor right now. I will say cursor is pretty nice with the built-in like web browser, especially if you're doing web dev stuff at work and you're doing like a like you actually need to test it in a UI, because it's cool to just watch it like open up the browser and start clicking around for you, or you can just click on different widgets inside your UI and then that context automatically gets added. Now I don't know if Codex has that or Claude Desktop has that. I'm sure they have some equivalent to that. They have the Chrome MCP, which I've used a lot too, where you can just have Claude basically open up a browser and still click around and debug. I found that most of these things all end up having feature parity anyway. It's like they're all the same thing, but cursor is just what I've been using from the get-go, and it's going to be hard for me to like stop using it, I would say. What's up, Cody? Is this still your survival game or a new MMORPG? It's the same game, I just pivoted it. So it's not like a turn-based survival thing. It's an actual like RPG now. I'm trying to make it an action RPG, I guess you could say. I use GPT plan mode as a double-edged sword. Sometimes I gamble without it and get a straightforward result as opposed to overcomplicating it in a plan. Yeah. I've actually never used plan mode. I just prompt it and plan it out in the chat. Okay. Interesting. I don't know. I rarely use plan mode because I don't really do agentic coding. I use AI more like an assistant, so plan mode proves annoying for my use cases. Yeah, I think the number one use case for plan mode is if you're building in a feature and it's a complex feature that could have 5 or 10 edge cases that you did not think about. And I've seen that while I'll do a plan mode and then it starts asking me questions. Like it'll ask me 3 or 4 questions because the prompt that I sent in wasn't like very, it didn't contain enough detail to fully implement what I wanted. So plan mode's been good for that. And there's some other like Claude skills that I've used that help just really thoroughly ask like 10, 20 questions so it really knows what you want. And so if you're building out a complex feature that you don't have good business requirements already detailed out for you, I found it useful. But there's also like, I just feel like sometimes using a plan mode just helps the AI more thoroughly solve the problem. But I'm going to try to not use plan modes for a couple of things and see like if it just does the job well. Let me go back, test this out now. We should expect the UI components at the top, and it looks pretty good. Except for open chat, I mean, I don't know what devices I'm going to cut off. Like, you know, it's like at some point, okay, like this is too small of a screen. But I will say the version stuff, this might be a little cluttered, honestly. And the exit could be changed to like an exit icon, I would say. Yeah, is this stuff even necessary down here? I could move it up at the top too. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's okay being to the far right. Most people aren't going to be playing a game on a tablet, let's be honest. But I think this is good. Maybe. What do you guys think? Was it better before? Is this too cluttered? Is knowing how many players online even useful? Is that something that's necessary? I think it does add to the kind of like the social aspect. It's nice to know that there's 5 other people in the server, and it kind of gives you a reason to go and like chat with people or go explore. I just wonder if this is the best user experience. Like, could I just put a 1 in a player icon and then put that somewhere else, and you hover over it and a tooltip says, hey, like you have 5 players online. Is this necessary to take up this much real estate? Is it a distraction? The mute button, this could also be hidden away by a menu. Like I could change this to a drop-down menu that has mute sounds. It also has exit. That could save some real estate. Open chat. I think this is necessary so people actually know that there's a chat feature. Right now, people don't know that you can chat. I was trying to play the game with some people, and I was chatting with them. I had to like legit tell them press Y to chat. At one point, we had like a controls menu that showed all the controls in the game. That could be useful, but I don't know. I feel like if you don't know what the controls are for like an action game, and most of the keys are like E, like you know that you can press E to do stuff. So we'll go with this a little bit. Sometimes it's nice to just let it cook with the design. I will just change the exit button to be an exit icon. That's one thing I will do though. And here, like, you could even use the same context window. Like, can you, instead of saying exit, just use an exit icon, generate an exit icon if you don't have one, and then add it into the game. I will say with Cursor 3, you don't really see the context window, right? And that's something that's very important to know, like how large is your context window growing? Maybe that's a plugin or something. I just haven't really seen it anywhere. Maybe it's a setting. Let's go to settings. Is there a context? Usage? Usage summary at the bottom, okay. I don't know. The old approach to Cursor had like a, you know what I'm talking about? It has like this little circle that fills up as your context fills up, but right now it's not really giving me that information. I'll also say taking screenshots of stuff, I don't know if it's really necessary at times. If you just get good at describing like the exit button in the top left of the screen, I feel like it's more accurate that way. Screenshots don't really, like, I just got into the habit of doing it. I just don't think it's necessary. I think you can figure it out without even using screenshots. So all I think it's doing is adding more time. It's probably running OCR over your screenshot to get the word exit, so it can then use that to grep over your code base to find what's like necessary. But let's just see if there's an exit button now. Yeah, I mean, seems good. All right, what else to add in? I mean, this could even be like a chat icon right here. A little chat icon, you click it, and then it shows the chat panel next to it. But enough with the UI stuff. I think this is good enough, whatever. We're going to commit this to commit and push. Go back and see what you guys are doing over here. The questions are the only reason I use plan mode. Yeah, that's pretty good. Which AI you use to build the game? I've used a lot. I mean, I started this game like a year ago, maybe even longer. Like, I have videos on my channel about it. I was using Composer 1, just Composer. I was using Composer 1.5. I use Opus. I use GPT. But now I'm just kind of using Composer 2 as my model with Cursor 3 as the IDE. And then I use Claude Code a lot at work. Like, we have a Bedrock instance for all of our teammates to use Claude Code. Did you know that Prime watched your video of The Joy of Coding is Dead? I did. He reached out to me and asked me if he could do a reaction video to it. So I'm like, yeah, sure. What did the mustache say about our boy Cody? Yeah, I'd be curious to watch it. I saw him on a stream, but his streams are like members only. I was going to go back and watch it, but I'm guessing he's going to publish it within the week or something. But hopefully, I'm guessing there's some stuff that he agrees with it. I'm guessing some comments will be like, well, technically you don't have to be, you know, using AI, which I guess I'll wait and see what he says, but I'd be curious to hear his opinion on what I mentioned. Yeah, I do like the question at Open Code, Claude Code if I'm planning an entire project. Not sure Cursor has that, though. It's never... Cursor has that. I've seen in plan mode, it has like a nice little a questionnaire that pops up with like multiple different A, B, C, D other choices. Gaming LXG, hey man, hope you're good. I can't remember, but you said in a video that from your experience, different AI models are better at doing things than others. What model do you recommend for UI? I would say for UI, I'd still probably lean on Claude Code with a UI UX skill. Or I would still use Gemini 3.1 Pro maybe. It's been a while since I made that video, right? It's been, I think, like 5 months. People in chat, like what AI would you recommend for UI stuff? Right now, I feel like most of them are good. Like if you're trying to get good design, I don't think any of them are going to give you like a really 10 out of 10 designed landing page or something. I know a lot of people use Gemini. It's like a web-based Gemini web, and you can get some pretty good UIs out of that. I've heard people say that's like a really good designer experience. But I found to get the best designs, like you need to find a template that has good designs and use that as a reference. So like you basically go and find a really nice looking template with components and stuff and just put that in your project or do like a Claude add directory. And then you can just prompt it to like pull in examples from that. I think a green fantasy based theme would be cool, something like RuneScape. Why not just make the menu button with the hamburger? Yeah, that's an option. Hey, what's up, Super Combo Gamer? What's up? What's up? A birdie told me Opus 4.7 tomorrow. We'll see. I just burned through like $50 of Claude Code credits by letting Claude run for an hour at work trying to fix something. It's an interesting time. I'm hoping that they'll keep these models cheap and subsidized for us. But we'll see if Opus 4.7 is cheaper or not. All right, anyway, let's go back. You guys are curious. I do need to spend time on performance of this. At one point, the game was wave-based, survival-based, in a much smaller map. And since then, I've kind of increased the size of the map significantly, which means that I'm noticing there's some slow ticks that happen on the server. I do have 2 game servers up, so I am using Railway. If you go over here, I have a game server that's on East Coast and a game server that's in Europe, I believe. So this is why this ping is 290. This server is actually in Europe. I think it's in Netherlands. But I'm going to join the East Coast one just to kind of beta test how it works if you have some people. So if you are in the chat, you could like join. I think there are some bugs I need to... Oh no, it's good. Oh yeah, my changes are there. I noticed that it didn't show that... Did it show the loading thing? Let me rejoin. Yeah, it did. There's a weird black screen that like doesn't render anything. I need to debug that one. Oh, one thing I was adding in, I added in a skateboard. Let me see if I can... I don't have animations for it, but it just makes you basically go a lot faster. And I do plan to add in a bike, and then at some point probably add in a car. Come on, Survivor, come this way. Maybe I should get off my little skateboard so people can follow me. Survivor. I need to make it more apparent how to change your name. Right now, everyone is spawning a survivor with their name. But I think that's, you have to like log out and then go to your like actual like profile settings. How many do I have? Oh, you know what? Can someone try testing out the chat? Like, just say anything. What I noticed is that, like, okay, let's say you're, you don't have the chat open. You have no idea if someone's saying something. That's something I kind of overlooked. And is that something that you actually want to show up? Maybe people don't care about seeing chat messages from people. So I'll just kind of like let this cook for a little bit. Don't know if this is the best user experience, but I do like the panel being on the left more than it was on the right. Before it was like right in the center of the screen, like I mentioned. All right, let me unlock combat role. All right, there's like a bunch of, you know, I could have spawned you guys some weapons. You guys ready? Here you go. There's some AK-47s over here if you want them. Let me turn down my volume. I think the server's lagging a little bit, but oh, I need reload. Let me go back and make like a to-do list or something. Nice, we got a whole army over here. Alright guys, we can try to fight a boss if you guys follow me. I think there's a boss up here. I'm at the top left of the forest. Oh, another thing I want to add in is like different zones. I want to have them have names, and those names should pop up like underneath the radar. Actually, let me check the map. I don't remember where the big boss is. I made a huge... let's see. Where did I put that boss? This is the acid guy. I don't care about that. Deeper pistol ink. Oh, okay. He's over at the top right. Alright, never mind. Change the direction. Let's go to the top right of the map. Oh, there's like a little road there. I gotta get rid of that road. Wait, why is that road? Did I not? Oh my gosh, I didn't even put it opening to that. Hold on. Okay, anyway, well, we can go down. Yeah, there's a couple of zombies in here we could fight. Okay, yeah, let me know in chat if it's super laggy or something. Right now, I'm getting good ping, but there are some things that are kind of choppy, like the bullets with the AK. It seems like it starts getting a little bit choppy. And it doesn't help that the audio is clipping, so I have to fix the audio clipping. I'm going to make another to-do list item. Fix opening to tank boss top right of map. Clipping sound on fire, fix that. Cool. Yeah, so this is like the initial. This is still a prototype, right? This is not like. There's still so much more that I have to do, but it's a pretty good initial start, I think. I want to expand the map to be like at least 4 times larger than what it is. In making this map, I mean, obviously, if you want a cool map, it's going to take some time. And then making all the quests. So if you guys do want to contribute, I mean, you can join my Discord and you can ask me, hey, is there like a feature you guys want added in? Or if you just want to add something in that you think is cool, I could try to find different areas. And if you want to like be an expert at the auction house or an expert at... What am I running into? There must be some collidable thing that's hidden right here. I can't... Oh, you know what? I probably need to purge my Cloudflare. There's supposed to be like a merchant there that you can see. I don't know why he's not showing up. Stop. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to check locally if that shows up. Yeah, I don't know why the merchant's not showing up here. Does he even show up in the town? Yeah, he shows up in town. There's just something wrong with that. I gotta fix that. Alright, I'm gonna leave the actual game. Did a little play testing there. That's pretty fun. But definitely, it's a little stuff like this where, you know, it's gonna spend. I spend a bunch of time trying to actually make the map better in the quest, and it feels fun. It's not all about just like coding. It's also about like making a good experience, which eats up a lot of your time too. So let's see if I can just like delete the shop. I think it's this one. I don't know what happened there, but I'm gonna place a new one. Why doesn't he show up? Maybe I need to give him an item. This might be an actual like a map manager bug. Yeah, I think this is actually a different type of bug. I've placed multiple shops / merchants in the game, but for some reason only one of them renders. Can you debug maybe what might be going on? I do know at some point the map manager was only placing the first merchant it found on the map. So maybe there's some logic still there where it's only doing like the first one instead of doing all of them. Okay, so again, having like a little bit of context of how the code actually works can help you prompt a little bit better, because I know for a fact I had code that was like search to the map and find the first merchant and then put that down. Server spawn merchants, loops over checking the client rendering and merchant metadata. Yeah, this one I'm not too sure about. Let me go back to chat. Did you have to fully plan out this game? What do you mean by that? Fully plan it out. $50, I burned 150 extra usage fixing a bug last night. No sprint or stamina. We do have it. It's just an unlock. You have to actually like level up and then choose to unlock that. It might be kind of frustrating, but I do want to kind of have it be like the sense of progression, that your character is getting stronger and better. So maybe locking stamina wasn't the best approach. Maybe instead I could cap it to 10, and then as you like unlock it, or you can, you know, get perks to be able to run longer and stuff. I'm gonna join for some reason. Opus is okay with UI, but you'll get a Claude looking site. Can't go wrong with either Gemini or Claude. Honestly, if you want a good looking site, just pitch out $90 and buy a good looking template. Like, you can't replace the experience of a good designer who knows how to make a UI. So find an actual like well-designed UI that is built in Tailwind or built in like ShadCN at least, and then use that. It's probably gonna be like one of the best investments, especially if you're trying to make like money. Your landing page is very important because your customers are going to judge your application by the design. And instead of just prompting Claude Code to generate something for you, you should probably just find like an expertly made design. Can I play with you? Let's see, I couldn't join for some reason. Got a WebSocket error. Never mind, private tab. It worked. Interesting. Is this PvP? No, it's not PvP. I want to make it more co-op. I do plan to maybe add in like this ability to join raid parties. And so like, if you saw the map, there's certain sections of the map where there's just a bunch of zombies that spawn, and there's a boss zombie too. And so I'm hoping that players can kind of bound together to clear out these things, because inside of this area there's also like certain items that spawn, like pistols, which if you're good enough you could probably just like run in, sneak them, and grab them. So I probably need to add more zombie types that will snare you. I need to add like environment things that slow you down so you can't just like quickly run in. But yeah, again, if you guys want to contribute, there's a bunch of ideas that are in my head. I can only prompt one thing at a time, right? And then testing it is also hard. I do manually test everything I prompt to make sure it's actually like decent. But the biggest pain point of this whole process is my tile sheet. Like the road, I don't have certain tiles, so like in the road here, I don't have like a right facing tile. And I would like to be able to add more variety of like, I don't know, what's around the map, you know. Other pain points, like right now, like I want the top of the tree and the middle of the tree to not be collidable. Right now, all three of them are collidable. But it's just like the little things like that that bother me, but it's like, man, I know that's going to eat up like 20 minutes of my time. AI can't do that for me, right? I have to go in and redesign. Like I have to rethink the design, you know, and that takes a little bit more time. I could add a hack and say, oh, if it's tile this or tile that, or I could mark these as like non-collidables, but keep it in the collidable map. I could move the top of the tree and the middle of the tree to the ground layer, so I could place those separately, and then I could like group all three of them together as like a decal type of thing. Decals don't even make sense of what I'm using these for. These are like entities that I put in decals. So again, I don't know what I'm doing, but every iteration I try to make it a little bit better. But someone with game dev experience could probably come in here and give me a lot of good feedback and spruce some stuff up. What was I gonna do? All the other player models have local rotation only. Everyone is always looking right on my side. Oh, are they? Let me try that out. Hold on. I don't know if anyone's still playing the game. Yeah, I think everyone left. Anyway, that's cool. I'll put that in to do. I'll have to figure out why that's happening. It's probably something I can easily figure out. It would be fun to have a global boss event that alerts all players with a directional exclamation mark or arrow super tanky boss with distinct moves. Yeah, I think that would be cool. I'll put it here in the to-do list. One thing I do have in the code base are environmental things that happen periodically. Like I have a whole effect that happens to make it rain. So it makes like the whole map kind of blue. And it has like rain effects, and then lightning will strike you randomly. Stuff like that. I also have like a toxic gas cloud event, which like will spawn toxic clouds throughout the maps, which I could probably add into. It just kind of adds a little bit of dynamic to it to make you like not have the same thing all the time. But a random global boss event would be pretty cool too. Also swarm events, like some nights you could actually have like a red moon night. Let's see, red moon night. Oh, actually I'm gonna call it a blood moon, where a huge swarm of zombies will walk from one point of the map to another. Something simple like that. So it's like, you never know what's gonna happen. Is there a way to use your items with your number keys? There are. For example, if you equip the med pack, right now I have a med pack in slot 4. If I got damaged, okay, press 4, it uses it. So there's certain items that are equipable. There's certain items that are consumable. The consumables will go in the quick slot 4 and 5. Some items are primary, some are secondary, and some are melee. So that's the current approach that we have. I had it so you can kind of put items in, you know, whichever item you wanted in the hotbar. But then you had to like really manage this stuff. I don't know. I'm going to keep it as this for a while. But yeah, we do have like this concept of using certain items. That was it. All right, I've been streaming for an hour. I'm probably going to wrap this up. Swarm events sounds cool. If you need to use them for free, use all the free versions you can and don't worry about what model, Gemini, GPT free versions. This is the future of software development. How did you build this game? Just by coding and using agentic coding, honestly. Prompting models. Let's see. But yeah, it's all HTML5. There's no like Godot. There's no Unity. There's no anything else. Just me literally prompting. I got a feature that comes up that I want to add in. I prompt it. I iterate on it a few times. And then it just adds it in. Like AI literally has added every single thing you see in this game. AI's added in. And now I just need to come back and like add better designs, like a better immersive HUD, like a Diablo 2 HUD style or like a StarCraft 2 HUD style for these different things. But overall, the core mechanics of the game are like basically there. Oh wait, this guy's showing up now. What did he fix? Rendering how the skips the entity sprite only when every tile of the merchant do it. Now I will say there at one point I was actually doing like a lot more review of all the code that was being generated in this game. I reached a point where I just stopped reading the code. Like I just prompt and commit and push. Like the models have gotten pretty good. They've gotten pretty good. They're not perfect. They still generate slop code. And for a professional project, you definitely need to do code reviews, and you need to have AI review the code. And you need to have your peers and your coworkers review the code. But it's getting better and better, and like you can hook in skills that can do security audits. You can hook in skills that do performance audits, that do refactorings, that make sure your code's clean and it meets the paradigms that you and your team want. And there's like, you know, after you've reviewed enough AI code, you start trusting it more and more. And I'm assuming at some point, you know, if GPT Opus 4.7 comes out, or whatever GPT 4.7 comes out, 5.5. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna end the stream. Made it going for an hour. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for joining. And yeah, like I mentioned, if you do want to contribute, let me know. Join the Discord. I can find something for you to work on. I recommend you do Agentic coding, because sometimes I'll ask for someone to work on something and they don't get back to me in like 3-4 days, and I just implement myself in like one prompt, right? So like if you want to contribute, just understand that I'm expecting, like, you know, contribute, make PR so I can review them and get them merged in. As long as it adds value to the game and it doesn't fully like refactor or change a bunch of stuff. But anything I mentioned in this video, if you want to help out with that, that'd be cool too. But that's about it. All right, have a good day. Happy coding, and thanks for watching.